What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the #1 comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review of part 2 of Ready to Love DC. And I'm pretty much gonna pick up where I left off on part 1. But before I get started, I always gotta mention something. I'm always detailed. I was watching TV on one of my local channels here in the DMV, and look what I found. I'm gonna show this, but I'm gonna share something. If you can see this. Look who that is. Oh, okay, we're looking at Rolexes, but we got Chantrepreneur. He's an actor. He's a paid actor on doing a commercial for a place that takes in high-end jewelry. I always knew that. We already know. I've called it from the beginning. Sean wasn't real and genuine. It just seemed like he was, I don't know, he was acting. He was acting for the part, and it just didn't hold up because you can't get something real by acting. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Chantrepreneur is on a commercial. But anyway, rest in peace, Sean. Anyway, so we go to Phil and Sydney. They going out on a date, and you see Sydney. She's got her little see-through mini body dress on or whatever. I'm like, she definitely is clubbing. Got the club like that. Definitely look like something you go to the club, not have dinner. But hey, I'm no stylist. I really noticed something. I'm always noticing something, saying something. I noticed that Phil, he's always like looking down, when he talk. It doesn't come off very confident. And I noticed that normally happens when he's talking about something real. Phil the charmer, all the friends like him and all of that, and he gets along. But when it's time to like really dig in there, he's like a little kid who just can't look you in the eye. He gotta just look down when he speak. And I'm like, this is a grown man. He don't get it, but okay. Maybe he'll learn. Maybe he'll stay with him. But anyway, he's on a date with Sydney, but I can really see that, on the ground Phil is, his energy is different. You can see like he's genuinely attracted to Sydney. And even so, Sydney hit Phil with one of those, one of those corny Frank lines and player lines, and asked Phil, you want to wet your whistle? And that's the green light for him to get a little kiss. And in this kiss, it wasn't no shallow kiss. He didn't pull back or anything. He was all in there. He was looking for more. When she pulled back, he's still kissing her hand. He wanted to take it further. He wanted to go all the way or whatever. So you see the difference in, when because Shiloh mentioned that she really didn't see his energy there, or like he was really into it. She ain't gonna like that when she see that, or she gonna understand like, okay, I see what's going on. And as far as Sydney goes, she has an interest in Frank. And what I think what Phil really made a mistake. He's actually discussing Frank, and whether that's on a game show or anything else, like if you're not locked in with somebody, it's really no point of discussing another person. This is just, information or suggestion, because it doesn't work. Because if a person's going to be with somebody, or they want to be over there more, they're going to do that. So where you need to put your energy is into that person. And Phil's making that mistake by bringing up Frank directly and wanting to know, how she feels in all that direction. And then that shows a lack of confidence as well. But we all see that, Phil has some maturing to do. And, according to Phil, Shiloh's a strong connection, but looking at him interact with Sydney, I really see something different. He don't have to lie to us or Shiloh. So we see Tommy. He's gathering all the guys up, and he has his new lease space for the gentleman's club is at the Waterside. And because I'm familiar with the area, Waterside is like adjacent to George Washington University, walking distance to Georgetown. It's a very upscale place, and it's like something that they schedule, because that's not really an area we hang out or lounge at, if you will. But all are welcome. So they get to deliberating. But Tommy wants to know. He wants to really know what happened on the 18-hour vacation or the little retreat or whatever. And fourth grade Frank Shout out to Simply Sakina. I got that nickname from Frank. But Sakina says that because of like his face, he think he has an old man face and he had that same face in the fourth grade. I say that because fourth grade Frank actually turned into a hall monitor once Tommy asked a question about like what happened. Frank spilled all the beans. He put everything out there, like what happened as far as what the friction was with the ladies. And Frank even told him about, the BGS, the Brown Girl Squad. And Tommy had made a point and was saying, well, hey, when you say that, it's kind of like inclusive of just all the brown girls. So how would that maybe make light skinned people feel or whatever? And I mean, he had a point. I don't really get on that. I'm really disappointed in the overall treatment of the YouTube world when saying that, because it's a double standard. I really don't care. It don't matter to me. But I just don't like it when one person or a group can do one thing and they're not held accountable the same way. It's no big deal for me. If somebody's offended, you in a group, say something. That's what I would do. Yeah, I would say something. But anyway, Frank telling everything and even talking about like how I guess Zadia kind of behaved in the situation, and Naeem jumps in and he's pretty much kind of backing Zadia up and pretty much saying that everything really kicked off with Aisha kind of naming names, and he's like, what are we doing? Here. I guess that's his perspective. I don't get it, but to me, what happened with that fight is when Camille started talking about, if y'all vote Cornelius off, she gonna kick y'all ass or whatever. So I don't see how Naeem missed that. But even in the previous show, he said in his confessional, like the way Zadia was acting, he kind of was like backing up off, or it was kind of making him aware of like she has a different side. So I won't even get too far into that. So Tommy really wants to know like who's the connections that you're making, because we're running out of time. We're coming down to the final days, and Walter says Sabrina pretty much she's got his connection, and for some reason Walter felt a need to let the guys know Sabrina was a stripper, not a dancer but a stripper. He just put it out there, and I was like, wow, Walter, like what significance would that have? I mean, even if, for 1 minute he's cool with it and all that, as I said, to each his own, and you have a right as the other person to feel how you want to feel, because that's whatever kind of person you want to deal with, whatever kind of past they had. But to me, he's coming off fake. 1 minute he's cool with it, but now he's kind of putting out to the guys like it's a concern. And when the guys here like, ooh, stripper, that's painful or whatever. So he did that for a reason. And down on the ground, Phil says, it's Shiloh and Sydney who has this connection, but Phil's saying that pretty much Sydney kind of came out of nowhere, and he seems to be like really more focused on her. But again, we always known that Phil made it clear Shiloh is his strongest connection. Again, I don't know if he's playing a game or it's because he saw Sydney in the yoga pants at that workout date. I don't know. So Dante, he wants to share his experience more so. He's letting them know like, hey, I'm in Aisha, but it really came about with Zadia violating him. And what I didn't like the choice of words that he was using. He said that Zadia put her hands on him and poked his nose. Now, I saw the nose poking, but to me, this is me. When you say somebody put hands on you, that means to me they, even though, again, let's be clear, by the most standard law, poking somebody in the nose, that is assault. But when I hear somebody put hands on me, somebody grabbed you, pushed you, slapped you, punched you, I get that kind of feel when somebody say put hands on me, because I didn't like that choke. That came off as a male Karen-ish kind of feel. She put hands on me like you a victim. You a man, right? Can't you handle that situation or do something to protect yourself even without becoming violent? Like, To me, if he could have said anything he wanted to her, because to me, Zadia totally violated. But you got to come off like a victim, like she put hand, because it'd be different if he just said like you put hands on me. Let's say Dante's definition of putting hands is putting your finger on me. You put hands on me. Okay, that's your definition. But no, that's not what he said. Dante said she put hands on me and poked my nose. I'm like, come on, man. Like, call the police or something, because that's what it sounds like the next move. Or you want an assault check from Ready to Love or OWN Network or Oprah herself. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't really appreciate that wording. I really didn't. But when Dante had mentioned that Zadia put hands on him, Frank was like you look ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. A lot of in the deliberation, the men be like, they're very active. When somebody like maybe talking about the person they're interested in, they make all kind of faces or whatever the case may be. But it was kind of funny. But then it was like, kind of keep you cool, Frank. But it did sound kind of ridiculous. She put hands on me. Did she? Anyway, let me move on. So Tommy is pretty much, at this point, he heard this information. He's alarmed, and he's asking Naeem, because Naeem is interested in Zadia. He's asking Naeem, how do you feel about it? And Naeem said, hey, it don't bother me. And I get that. That's his perspective. But Tommy's saying like he should be in deep thought. Naeem should be in deep thought about this after Dante has relayed this information. Naeem pretty much put it like, hey, I'm really not moved by that. And I pretty much go on the type of interaction that me and Zadia have. And I really could respect that perspective. Why? Because a lot of times, whether it's male or female, when people kind of bring things to you, there are motives behind it. They're just not bringing it out the goodness of their heart. Now, I'm probably more so with in the area of Naeem, like, hey, I don't know that experience you talking about, getting hands put on you. If me and her getting hands put on, it's a good thing, And he didn't let that affect his thought process. As a rational human being, yeah, you take the information and keep an eye open out for it. But as far as them breaking up the connections, and Dante was looking like, oh, I want you to write her off right now. Like, that happened to you. She did that to you. Because as I said, we learned that as children, you kind of know who you can poke their nose at the playground with. You kind of feel that out. People get that really early, that they know who to play with mentality. So I could respect that perspective that Naeem comes from, because, hey, what she did to you don't mean she's going to do it to me or I even allow it. Just to get it to that. So the deliberations are done, and Walter and Mumin meet up, and they're at some sushi restaurant, Sushi Co. I'm not into sushi like that. I could take it or leave it, so I ain't even look up or even familiar with that restaurant. Of course, it's in the same area like the Bethesda, Chevy Chase area in Maryland, like a walking mile from DC. So Mumin and Walter pretty much try to clear the air because it got kind of rocky throughout their little interaction in the retreat. And we really see a different Mumin. You can see the energy is there. I don't know if that's that brown girl squad or that's around her. She hot. She's upset because she said she didn't really like the way Walter handled her. And Walter's like, I was, I'm here for the process. And, and Mumin just pretty much mentioned like, well, what about at the piano? He was like, I thought that was funny. She pretty much was imitating Walter how he was at the piano. And I get that why that was an uncomfortable situation. Walter was spending time and giving his energy to Sabrina. So it's like somebody else that's liking you walk into the room. That's going to change the climate of the room. You can't be yourself or say what you need to say because you got somebody that you're dealing with separately. So I get that was uncomfortable. Maybe he didn't handle it the way she expected to. I mean, yeah, he should have hit it smooth. He's like, And guess what? He said, yeah, I'm gonna get with you in a minute. We have a little conversation or something, whatever. But other people was around, so I don't know how he could do it, but find a way. But don't let her make your space uncomfortable. Anyway, Walter pretty much felt like, it was a setup. And I get with that because she's coming over kind of to see what he's going to do, what he's going to say, so she can use that information against him. And that's what it was. So he could not win in that situation. It was just a straight losing battle because Moomin was there to check his temperature. And there's no need to play no games. I got my time here with Sabrina. I had my time with you. We did our little stay right, duet or whatever. Let's let it be that. It's separate. Even though we're all in a group setting, it's separate. But unfortunately, Walter pretty much says like, hey, Moomin, you're still ready to love, after all of that. And because I'm an energy person, the energy at the table was so intense. I mean, I even got Moomin with the hands and everything for a minute. I'm like, whoa, Moomin, put them hands over there. She had her little nails on, like maybe like Walter Light, from his ex. But Walter tried to do small talk. What is that you're eating? I don't even know. Moomin, I don't even know either. I'm like, I'd have left that sushi right on the table. I ain't got time for them. I'm out. So we go to see Phil and Zadia meeting up, and Zadia pretty much knows that it's something going on with the date with Phil. It ain't just out of the blue or whatever. But she's saying maybe to influence the judge, she gonna wear her best dress. Now, it was form fitting. It looked nice, but the outfit wasn't nice. I didn't like it. That was her best. She need to come better. But anyway, so Phil pretty much asked Zadia about the incident, and Zadia's like playing it off like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And Phil like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That the nose poke around the world. And Zadia, she goes straight into defense mode, and she's pretty much telling she reacted that way because Dante was being a coward by not letting her know what the deal was with him and Aisha. So, she admitted it. She stood up. She's like, yeah, I put my hands on him, and poking his nose, and she pretty much said in that situation she accelerated when she should have broke, like, pushing the gas on a car. But she found it funny. That's the part that kind of bothered me. Like, she's smiling on it, and she gave him the black mama talk. Now, like that so rubbed me the wrong way. I want to reach out a public service announcement for any woman who thought that type of behavior was okay. Please do a reevaluation of yourself. You would not like if someone treated your child, your mother, or even you in that manner to aggressively stand over you. And I use the word aggressive because that's aggressive. Guess what? It's violent. You start touching me and putting hands on me, even though I don't agree with that, but you're touching me and poking me in my face. That's violent to me. And everybody should have a right to have boundaries and protect themselves. If you okay with that, unsubscribe to my channel right now. No, I'm just kidding. I need your subscription. But just think about what you're doing. That is not right to treat anyone like that, even when you're upset. You wouldn't want anybody to treat you like that or your loved ones. It's a very toxic behavior. It's awful. It makes me sick to my stomach. I'm big on respect. When we ain't got respect, we need to separate and get away from each other, because all kind of things can happen. All kind of lines are going to get crossed eventually. That's where domestic violence starts and comes into play, when there are no boundaries, when a person is not seen as a personal value. And that really bothers me. Like, she's okay with that. She's smiling like that. Like I said, to me, Zadia was supposed to be like Kyra from last season. She's supposed to be the star of the show. She's supposed to have all the pick of the men if she wanted. She wanted to throw them all away, she could. But that attitude, it don't matter with the body, the booty, all of that stuff. That don't mean nothing when you got a mindset like that. It is so ugly. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. Like, she thought it was funny. Like, come on now. I'm like Aisha, I got caught up in the moment. Let me come back down, because I feel like she did it to me, but ain't no way in hell I will let anybody do that to me. Anyway, so, on the ground, Phil, still looking on the ground, trying to check this serious woman, this woman, but he told me, well, I can't co-sign for that. And Zadi looking straight at him in the eyes, direct. I don't expect you to co-sign. Phil is the wrong man for the assignment. He cannot handle Zadia. She's too much. Zadia is not open for suggestions, and she sees the weakness in Phil. So Phil's gonna go all around, beat around the bush, and he can't muster up the courage to say, Zadia, you're not ready for love. So much that it took so long and drawn out. Zadia was like, okay, I'm not ready for love. I get it. And he's like, wait a minute. I was gonna say that. Phil. I want Phil to go home next, just because Phil is Phil. How about that? So we get another, as Tommy say, a curveball thrown at us with Naeem. So get to the long and short. Naeem has pretty much put all his eggs in one basket with Zadia, because everybody's saying that he has made no attempt to connect with them as well, and Naeem recognize that. So pretty much before they end their talk, Tommy really wants Naeem to recognize, like he's really trying to help Naeem to open his eyes to Zadi's behavior and let him know, like, that's not really the way it goes, which is right. But Naeem, damn, he's 40 years old almost. You ain't really got to school him. He'll get it or whatever. It's like you're trying to spoon feed a 16-year-old. That doesn't really work. But Naeem says he receives Tommy's information that he is not blind to Nadia's behavior, and it has become a pattern or whatever. But he wasn't saying that in the men's deliberation. But long and short, Naeem self-eliminates, because his only interest, Zadia, is now gone. And it makes all the sense in the world to me. Because same thing with Camille. Who are you there for? So at the end of the last round, you're going to try to cling on or latch on to somebody who's there, and y'all fighting for one woman when you never even built anything with her or showed her any interest. So it only makes sense. See you later, Naeem. So in the next episode is showing that, of course, the ladies' time, their assignment now is to introduce the men of their interest to their family. And, it looks like it's going to get really interesting, especially with the red flag that Dante is. It's going to come up. With any sense, anybody say like, oh, okay, so you're pursuing my loved one and you're looking to build, fall in love, get married, have baby, but you have 3 different children by 3 different women. Everyone, any sensible one would question that. There's so much into that. There's so much separation. There's so much you have to take away from yourself before you even can join with someone else. So that's a right concern. But what really I want to see, because it's getting a little scary, is like Phil and Shiloh are having like a serious interaction. And Shiloh's pretty much saying that Phil has hurt her emotionally. And they so much so they have to go sit down with Tommy and have a conversation. And, Shiloh looks very upset, like Phil assaulted her physically, sexually. I don't know what the hell happened, but it looks bad. And I hope it's just Eddington that is not too bad that she has to experience that on TV. Not that it's okay to experience off camera, but that's crazy. I cannot imagine what Phil has done. I thought, maybe he's leading her on. He's dragging it out. And that's kind of normal because a lot of people aren't communicative. So, again, I appreciate all the support. I need your support, and get down in those comments. Tell me what you think, something I missed, something you want to talk about. And as I said on my first video, I'm going to switch up a format on my next video to create a reaction video instead of doing like scene by scene reviews. And again, tell me what you think about that when I bring it to you, because I do it for the people. I could just be on my phone on the comments, but I do this for y'all because y'all feed me energy and give me support. So as I say, Y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate that, and I really mean it.